state statistics show that police officers are being assaulted at unprecedented levels, even though they are making the fewest arrests that we've seen in decades.
More than 1,700 officers were assaulted in 2022, which is the most recent data available, and that is the most the Michigan State Police database has, and that dates back to 1997.
Joining us now to take a deeper look at this troubling trend is Lieutenant Renee Gonzalez, Public Information Officer with MSP's 1st Precinct. Thank you for being here with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So, Lieutenant, I'm sure this, like most things, is a very complex issue, but is there one thing you can point to that might be fueling this trend?
Well, a lot of it is, I think it has to do with the way the police have been portrayed lately with all the issues that we have going on. A lot of it can do with the media. It can do with the activist groups, how they portray us in a different light. So I think that's kind of what fuels it. And also, it's the times now. We've got a different generation of people out there than we used to deal with.
Yeah, I was actually going to just ask you something about that in terms of a different generation now coming up. Do you feel like the level of respect has changed just for authority figures?
Yes, I think that goes with everyone, not just police officers. You see it happening in restaurants, at grocery stores, just people, motorists going with each other. But we do see it in our profession as well, just that the younger crowd out there just seems to want to question everything, argue about stuff, and that's what kind of leads to all these problems that we're having. Instead of, say, for instance, we stop somebody on a traffic stop, they question us about it and they give us a real hard time about it when the time to take care of that would be in court, not here out on the road where we're talking about everything.
I'm interested, on that same note, younger officers, younger members in the ranks, are they dealing with the same thing? Is there as much of a clash and tension with those younger officers as well?
Yes, they're dealing with it the same as we are, so officers that have been around for a little bit longer. I think it's mainly the uniform that this motorist or this person that would come in contact will see. So it's not the age of the officer. I think it's who they see in that uniform, and that's where we're getting that defiance. I think it's the uniform that's bringing that out, not the person.
And we know that officers talk about de-escalating situations. Just in terms of training and approaching situations, how have things had to change and shift because of this notable change that we are seeing now?
Yes, due to the new generation out there, or people just looking at us differently, we have added into our training de-escalation training. We're working with our troopers and our officers to help them deal with that. It's always been, we try to talk things through before we really have to take action. But now we're really pushing in a lot more training to these officers, so they're ready for that when they come in contact with it.
You know, like we noted, police have also made fewer arrests here than they have in decades. Do you think these two things are at all related? Are people assaulting officers because fewer arrests have been made, or are officers arresting fewer people out of fear of being assaulted?
Well, I can't really speak for a lot of officers or troopers, but I think the reason we're seeing less arrests is we have less officers and troopers out there. There are going to be some officers out there that don't want to make that arrest because they don't want to deal with it. Maybe they don't feel they have the backing of their department or the prosecutor's office, that type of thing. So there's going to be a handful out there that they just don't want to deal with it. But I think the main reason is going to be is because we don't have as many officers as we did before.
Now, we know that officers on a daily risk your lives to protect and serve the public, which we thank you for. On the flip side of that, we have seen a lot of very negative situations that have popped up across the country. And because that keeps continuing, how hard does that make it for you all to do your job when you are dealing with some people in the public who seem to just be angry or defensive based on some of those things that have surfaced?
What we do is we teach our officers, our troopers, that you're going to come in contact with these people that just are not going to like you, or they have heard different things. But with us, we have to know that it's a job. We don't take it personally, and we're just going to deal with that situation. Our best bet is not to escalate the situation. If someone's mad, we're going to let them do their thing, be mad at us, but we're going to try to remain calm and remain professional. And hopefully they're going to see through that we're not out there to hurt them. We're just trying to do a job to keep people safe.
Yeah. Lieutenant Renee Gonzalez, Public Information Officer from MSP's 1st Precinct. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.